Imagine a world where your entire life savings can't even buy you a single loaf of bread. A world where prices double every few hours, and paper money is more useful as wallpaper or fuel for your stove than for buying groceries. This isn't a dystopian fantasy. It was the reality for millions of Germans in 1923. Welcome to Finance House, and today we are journeying back in time to one of the most catastrophic economic collapses in modern history. The day money died, the great German hyperinflation. It's a story of wheelbarrows filled with cash, of trust vanishing overnight, and of a nation brought to its knees not by bombs, but by banknotes. How did it happen? How did a sophisticated industrial powerhouse like Germany fall into such a devastating economic abyss? And more importantly, what timeless lessons can we learn from this crisis to protect our own financial futures? Stick around, because the answers will change the way you look at money forever. To understand the chaos of 1923, we have to rewind a little further to the summer of 1914 and the outbreak of World War I. Like other European nations, the German Empire believed the war would be short and victorious. Instead of raising taxes to fund the immense military effort, they decided to borrow heavily and print money, planning to pay off the debts with reparations from the defeated Allies. Spoiler alert, it didn't quite work out that way. The war dragged on for 4 brutal years, leaving Germany defeated, politically fractured, and saddled with unimaginable debt. Then came the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. The treaty imposed crippling war reparations on Germany, demanding payments in gold or foreign currency, not their own increasingly devalued paper mark. The amount was staggering, far beyond what the shattered German economy could possibly produce. Faced with this impossible demand and needing to fund social programs for veterans and rebuild the country, the new Weimar Republic government had few good options. So they resorted to the one tool they had left, the printing press. At first, it seemed like a solution. The government could pay its bills, businesses could pay their workers, and life went on. But underneath the surface, a financial time bomb was ticking. Every new banknote printed diluted the value of all the others already in circulation. It was a classic case of too much money chasing too few goods. The real tipping point came in January 1923. When Germany defaulted on its reparation payments, French and Belgian troops occupied the Ruhr, Germany's industrial heartland, to seize goods like coal and steel as payment. In response, the German government called for passive resistance, urging workers to go on strike. To support these striking workers and their families, the government did the only thing it could. It printed even more money. And that's when the floodgates testicule. The trickle of inflation turned into a raging, unstoppable torrent of hyperinflation. The numbers are almost impossible to comprehend. In early 1922, one US dollar was worth about 320 German marks. By late 1923, that same dollar was worth 4.2 trillion marks. Trillion! Daily life descended into a surreal nightmare. Prices weren't just changing Meitien, they were changing by the hour. A cup of coffee that cost 5,000 marks in the morning could cost 8,000 marks by the afternoon. Workers demanded to be paid twice a day. As soon as they got their wages, they and their families would rush to the stores to buy anything they could before the money became worthless. The wheelbarrow, famously, became the new wallet used to haul stacks of near-valueless banknotes to the market. Imagine the psychological toll. Your life savings, pensions, and insurance policies, meticulously built over decades, were wiped out in a matter of months. The prudent saver was punished, while the debtor who had taken out loans in the old valuable marks could now pay them off effectively for free. It turned society upside down. Trust in the government, in the banks, and the very concept of money evaporated. Bartering became common. A pair of shoes was more valuable than a pile of cash. People traded services, jewelry, and food, reverting to a pre-modern economy. The social fabric frayed. The middle class, the backbone of any stable society, was financially annihilated. This created a fertile ground for extremist political movements, who pointed fingers and offered simple, dangerous solutions to complex problems. They blamed scapegoats and promised a return to order and national pride. The economic desperation of 1923 planted the seeds of political poison that would grow tragically over the next decade. So, how did it end? In November 1923, the government took drastic action. They introduced a new currency, the Rentenmark. Its value was supposedly pegged to a mortgage on all of Germany's land and industrial assets. It was a bit of a psychological trick, but it worked. One Rentenmark replaced 1 trillion of the old, worthless paper marks. By brutally cutting 12 zeros from the currency and committing to stop the printing presses, confidence was slowly, painfully restored. The hyperinflation was over, but the scars remained. The German hyperinflation of 1923 is more than just a historical curiosity. It's a profound lesson in the nature of money. It shows us that money is not just paper or numbers on a screen. Its value is built on trust, trust in the institutions that issue it, and trust in the stability of the economy it represents. When that trust is broken, the entire system can collapse with terrifying speed. It teaches us the danger of governments simply printing money to solve their problems. While modern central banks have more sophisticated tools, the fundamental principle remains. Creating currency out of thin air without a corresponding increase in economic value eventually leads to inflation, eroding the purchasing power of women to savings. For us as individuals, it's a stark reminder of the importance of diversification. The Germans who held tangible assets, real estate, gold, foreign currency, or shares in productive businesses, weathered the storm far better than those who held only cash. It underscores the need to own things that have intrinsic value, not just pieces of paper whose value can be inflated away. It's a story of how quickly normalcy can vanish and a powerful warning against financial complacency. We live in a world of complex global finance, and while a 1923-style hyperinflation is unlikely in major economies today, the core lessons about debt, currency debasement, and the fragility of trust are more relevant than ever. Thank you for joining us at Finance House for this look back at one of history's most dramatic financial crises. Understanding the past is one of the best tools we have to navigate the future. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world of finance. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.